You know what fascinates me? The remarkable difference between someone who achieves their dreams and someone who just dreams. And I'll tell you what that difference is. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even circumstances. It's their ability to set and achieve goals. Now, some of you might be thinking, Mr. Rohn, I've heard about goal setting before. Well, let me tell you something fascinating. In my seminars across the country, I ask people, how many of you have written goals? And you know what? Only about 3% raise their hands, only 3%. And isn't it interesting that this same 3% owns more wealth than the other 97% combined? Let me share something I learned early in my life. My mentor, Mr. Schoaf, said to me, Jim, life will pay whatever price you ask of it. I was confused at first. I said, Mr. Schoaf, I'm asking for more, but I'm not getting it. And you know what he told me? He said, Jim, you're asking with your words, but you're not asking with your actions. You're not asking with your plans. You're not asking with your goals. That changed everything for me. Everything. And today I'm going to share with you the step-by-step process that transformed my life from making $57 a week to becoming financially independent by age 31. Let's start with something fundamental, the power of decision. You see, the word decision comes from Latin meaning to cut off. When you make a real decision about your goals, you cut off any other possibility. That's powerful. Most people never decide. They wish, they hope, they think about it, but they never decide. Here's what's interesting about goals. They're like a magnet. They pull you. When you write them down, something incredible happens in your mind. It's like your brain says, oh, we're serious about this now. And that's when the magic begins. But let me share something crucial with you. Before we dive into the specific steps of goal setting, you need to understand this fundamental truth. Goals aren't just about achieving something, they're about becoming someone. The greatest value in setting goals is not what you get, but what you become in the process. I remember talking to a young man in one of my seminars. He said, Mr. Rohn, I want to be a millionaire. I asked him, who do you have to become to be a millionaire? That stopped him cold. You see, most people focus on what they want to have, but they don't focus on who they need to become. Now, let me share with you the first step in setting goals, and this is crucial. You must take inventory of where you are right now. You can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where you're starting from. It's like trying to use a map without knowing your current location. I want you to take out your notebooks. You are taking notes, aren't you? Success leaves clues, and what I'm about to share with you is worth millions. I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm saying it because it's true. Write down exactly where you are in the major areas of your life. Your health and fitness, your relationships, your career, your finances, your spiritual life, your personal development, your contribution to others. Be honest with yourself. This inventory is just for you. Don't kid yourself. That's one of the worst forms of self-destruction. Now, here's something fascinating about this process. When you write down where you are, something happens in your mind. You start to see gaps. You start to see possibilities. You start to see potential. Let me tell you about a lady I met in Detroit. She came to one of my seminars, and when I asked everyone to do this inventory, she broke down crying. She realized she had been lying to herself for years about where she was in life. That moment of truth, though painful, became the turning point in her life. Today, she owns 3 successful businesses. The second step in goal setting is to decide what you want. Now, this sounds simple, but it's profound. Most people never do this. They say things like, well, I want to be happy. That's not a goal. That's a greeting card sentiment. You need to be specific. Instead of saying, I want to be wealthy, write down, I want to have a net worth of $1 million by December 31st, 2026. See the difference? One is a wish, the other is a goal. Let me share something powerful with you. When you write down specific goals, you're doing something that less than 3% of the population does. You're literally separating yourself from the crowd right there. But here's what's interesting, and pay close attention to this. Your goals must be yours. Not your parents' goals for you, not your spouse's goals for you, not what society thinks you should do. Your goals must be yours. I remember talking to a young man who said he wanted to be a doctor. I asked him why. He said, because my parents want me to be a doctor. I said, but what do you want? He thought for a moment and said, I want to be a teacher. You see, he was living someone else's goals. The third step, and this is where most people miss it, is to write down your why. Why do you want to achieve these goals? The why is more important than the how. The how will come when your why is strong enough. Let me tell you something fascinating about human psychology. When your why is strong enough, you'll figure out the how. When your why is strong enough, you'll work 16 hours a day. When your why is strong enough, you'll go through any obstacle. I remember a gentleman in Chicago who came to me after one of my seminars. He said, Mr. Rohn, I've written down my goals before, but I never achieved them. I asked him, did you write down your why? He looked confused. You see, he had the what, but he didn't have the why. Your why is your emotional fuel. It's what gets you out of bed at 5 a.m. when you'd rather sleep. It's what keeps you going when everyone else quits. Your why is your purpose, and purpose is more powerful than object. Now let me share with you the fourth step in goal setting. Breaking down your goals into smaller, manageable pieces. This is crucial. You see, most people fail not because their goals are too big, but because they try to achieve them all at once. Here's what's fascinating. Success is not one giant step. It's a lot of little steps done consistently over time. It's not what you do occasionally that counts. It's what you do consistently. I want you to think about building a house. You don't just throw everything together at once. You start with the foundation, then the frame, then the walls, and so on. Each step builds on the previous step. That's how you should approach your goals. Take your big goals and break them down into 5-year goals, 1-year goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, daily activities. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where dreams become reality. This is where wishes become achievements. Let me share something powerful with you about this process. When you break down your goals this way, something remarkable happens in your mind. The big goal that seemed impossible now looks achievable. Why? Because you can see the steps. I remember talking to a woman who wanted to write a book. She was overwhelmed by the idea of writing 300 pages. I asked her, can you write 1 page? She said, yes. I said, then write 1 page a day. In a year, you'll have 365 pages. She looked at me like I had just solved the greatest mystery in the world. The 5th step in goal setting is to develop the necessary skills to achieve your goals. This is where personal development comes in. You see, success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Here's what's fascinating. For every goal you want to achieve, there's a set of skills you need to develop. Want to be wealthy? Learn about money management, investment, business. Want to have better relationships? Learn about communication, empathy, listening. I tell people in my seminars, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Why? Because if you work hard on your job, you can make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. Let me share something interesting with you about personal development. The books you don't read won't help you. The seminars you don't attend won't change your life. The skills you don't develop won't advance your career. You see, life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And the most important changes are the changes that happen within you. The 6th step in goal setting is to create accountability. This is where most people miss it. They set goals, but they don't have anyone holding them accountable. It's like trying to play tennis without a net. There's no way to keep score. Find someone who will hold you accountable. Share your goals with them. Meet with them regularly to review your progress. This person should be someone who wants you to succeed, but isn't afraid to tell you the truth. I remember a young man who joined one of my mastermind groups. He had been trying to start a business for 3 years with no success. Within 6 months of having accountability partners, he launched his business and made his first profit. The difference, accountability. The 7th step, and this is crucial, is to measure your progress. What gets measured gets improved. You need to track your progress regularly, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever works for you, but you must measure. Here's what's fascinating about measuring your progress. It shows you where you need to adjust. It's like a GPS system. If you're off course, it tells you so you can correct your direction. But let me share something powerful about measuring progress. Don't just measure the end result. Measure the activities that lead to the result. If your goal is to lose weight, don't just measure your weight. Measure your daily exercise and food intake. The 8th step in goal setting is to create the right environment. This is something most people never think about, but it's crucial. Your environment will either support your goals or sabotage them. Look around you. What books are on your shelves? What programs are you watching? Who are you spending time with? Your environment is either lifting you up or pulling you down. I often tell people, if you want to achieve success, hang around successful people. Why? Because success leaves clues. The habits, the thinking, the actions of successful people will rub off on you. The 9th step is to develop the habit of visualization. See yourself already achieving your goals. Feel the emotions. Experience it in your mind. This isn't some mystical process. It's programming your subconscious mind for success. Here's what's fascinating about visualization. Your mind can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize your goals as already achieved, you create neural pathways in your brain that support that achievement. The 10th step, and this is where the rubber really meets the road, is to take massive action. Goals without action are just dreams. You must take action every single day toward your goals. But here's what's interesting about action. It doesn't have to be perfect action. It just needs to be action. Too many people wait for perfect conditions. They wait until they know everything. They wait until they're not afraid. Let me tell you something. The conditions will never be perfect. You'll never know everything. And you'll always have some fear. The key is to act anyway. The 11th step is to expect and prepare for obstacles. This is crucial. Every worthwhile goal will have obstacles. The question is not if you'll face obstacles, but how you'll handle them when they come. Here's what's fascinating about obstacles. They're not there to stop you. They're there to test how badly you want it. They're there to separate the serious from the curious. I remember talking to a successful businessman who told me, Mr. Rohn, every time I set a big goal, I immediately make a list of all the problems I might encounter. I asked him why. He said, because when you expect problems, you're not surprised by them. And when you're not surprised by them, you can prepare for them. The 12th step is to celebrate your progress. This is something most people forget to do. They're so focused on the end goal that they forget to celebrate the small victories along the way. But here's what's interesting about celebration. It releases chemicals in your brain that make you feel good. And when you feel good, you're more likely to continue taking action toward your goals. The 13th step is to adjust your goals as needed. This doesn't mean giving up on your goals. It means being flexible enough to modify them based on new information or changing circumstances. I remember talking to a lady who wanted to open a retail store. But as she worked toward that goal, she discovered that an online business would be more profitable and give her more freedom. She adjusted her goal, and today she has a successful online business. The 14th step is to develop patience. This is crucial. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. Success is like growing bamboo. You plant the seed and water for a year, nothing happens. Second year, nothing happens. Third year, nothing happens. Fourth year, nothing happens. Fifth year, it grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. The question is, did it grow 90 feet in 6 weeks, or did it grow 90 feet in 5 years? The answer is obvious. The first 4 years were building the root system. Without that root system, there would be no growth. The 15th step, and this is where it all comes together, is to develop the habit of persistence. Persistence is the ultimate difference between success and failure. Here's what's fascinating about persistence. It's not about never failing. It's about getting up one more time than you fall. It's about continuing even when you don't see immediate results. I want to share something powerful with you about persistence. Every successful person I've ever met has failed their way to success. They just didn't let failure stop them. Now, let me wrap this up by sharing something crucial. Goal setting is not a one-time event. It's a life skill. It's something you'll use for the rest of your life. Remember, you become what you think about most of the time. Your goals determine what you think about. Therefore, your goals determine what you become. Let me leave you with this thought. 5 years from now, you will surely arrive. The question is where? That's going to depend on two things. The goals you set today. The actions you take toward those goals. You see, time is going to pass anyway. 5 years from now will become now. The question is, what will you have to show for it? Will you be living your dreams, or will you be living with regrets? Will you be celebrating your achievements, or will you be making excuses? The choice is yours. And here's what's fascinating, the choice is always yours. No one else can set your goals for you. No one else can take action for you. No one else can persist for you. Set your goals high. Write them down. Review them daily. Take action consistently. And never, never, never give up. Remember, success is not something that happens to you. It's something that happens because of you. And it all starts with setting clear, specific, written goals. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. And the best way to prepare for it is to set goals and work toward them every single day. Thank you for your attention. Now, go set those goals and make your dreams a reality.